This is the book of Habakkuk 2 and 3, and it reads, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." And what this is speaking about is the time of Jacob's trouble, the time when Esau's wicked queendom will come to an end, when the poor will rise up against the rich, when the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, who were ignorantly called God and Jesus, will begin to visit this earth and bring plagues upon it. And he will smite the wicked, which includes 2/3 of our people. But yet, our people are warned daily about the judgments that's coming. And rather than listening and heeding, they rather mock and scoff and laugh. Well, those times are here. Images don't lie. Before we get started here, let's first give all glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai, Ba'ashim, Kakadash. The blondes that teaches elders in the parts of great millstone, likewise brothers put on this truth. Faithfully, fearlessly feeding the sheep with you brothers and sisters. Tuning in, Shalom. Today's lesson titled, "Hear Now This, O Foolish People." And who are the foolish people? So-called blacks, Native Americans, Latinos, and Hispanics, whose seed line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and who live particularly here in Great Babylon, America. They see what's taking place, but yet they don't take heed to the warnings because they're fools. Now take a look at these clips here. This is going to be about 2.5 minutes, so bear with me, and then we're going to go into the scriptures.
ICE is making arrests in Minnesota right next to shoppers grabbing groceries. Tense encounters like these are happening at private businesses.
And Walmart are private businesses. Their parking lots and stores are open to the public, including ICE. Similar rules apply to the waiting room at a hospital or a reading area at a library. Medeiros suggests people document ICE activity to ensure it's done lawfully, but do not get in their way.
Migrants currently in detention, nearly 70% of them don't have a criminal conviction. The White House set a quota of 3,000 arrests per day, and ICE's budget is now $170 billion, with plans to double the force to about 20,000.
My idea is simply this: America was built by and for the white Christian people of this nation.
Has become the centerpiece of the Trump administration. In this video, we'll track where migrants are being arrested, where exactly they're locked up, and where is this happening. Texas alone represented about 23.2% of all arrests nationwide. Florida followed with about 11%, California with 7%, Georgia with 4%, and Arizona with 3%. The day he at 26 Federal Plaza in New York City. Asylum claims and deportation hearings are held here, but it's a catch-22 for many. By showing up for your court hearing, you risk arrest.
Canada's largest white supremacist group is training with fascist fight clubs in the US, growing a global network, preparing for what they say is a race war.
The race war is here.
For the first time since their formation, Second Sons Canada is promoting how it sent members south of the border, meeting with some of the most prominent white nationalist groups in the United States and the founder of the whole movement.
I'm for pro-white. I'm for putting my race above everything else.
Through public Telegram posts, videos, and images, we track them from Texas to a major gathering in South Carolina.
It's very significant that we're seeing Canadians travel across the border. It is getting more and more coordinated by the day.
Second Sons Canada describes itself as a men's nationalist club. But based on our previous reporting and expert analysis, it's more like what's called an active club. Active clubs are a global movement of white nationalist fight clubs who gather to train in combat sports. They're founded by this guy, Robert Rundo.
I put my people first. You know, there's fun in fascism.
I put my people first. You know, there's fun in fascism.
Now, as you saw in that collage of clips there, it went into the roundup of Jakes, okay, which includes Northern Kingdom and Southern Kingdom tribes, okay. You see these Edomites, these so-called white men, okay, they're training to kill so-called minorities, which we are always referred to as minorities. In other words, they're looking to kill blacks. So they're practicing these, arm to arm, combat. And of course, we know about the ones that are practicing training with the weapons and stuff. So, Esau is blessed with the sword. You see all the detention camps locations, that was bought out by that news, company that digs a little bit deeper into it. And we can see that these people, they clearly are not interested in having a nation that's unified where they can ignore your so-called skin color. But y'all don't want to listen, Jake, so you're going to learn the hard way. Let's go into Matthew 10. That's verse 34, because a couple of videos have been going up with these Christian churches and the Hebrew Israelite, away from preaching outside, letting them know that, that sweet loving white Jesus that you're worshiping is not the Messiah of the Bible. The white God you're worshiping is not the God of the Bible, which is the Hamashiach, and the Most High, or Yahweh, who's the Most High, and Yahushua, who's the Son, and that you've been brainwashed, to serve your oppressor's imaginary deity. This is what's really, truly going to happen, It's not going to be a time of great love and unity. It's going to be a horrible time. It reads, "Think not that I come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and a man's foes should be they of his own household." So we're coming into that time right now. In fact, it's already here. Economic strife, which includes job losses, people don't have money, they're overwhelmed with debt, prices of goods are too high, and people are starting to distance themselves from people that they believe may drag them down. And that's the mentality. You also have the righteous, those of us who have been awakened, we're going to be ostracized from our people that we know, or we have grown accustomed to, sharing a beer with, or cup of coffee, or a picnic, or whatever the case is, or a barbecue, because we're coming in a time right now where the wicked is going to come down so harshly on the children of Israel that a lot of our people are willing, or would be willing, to betray, kill their brother and sister, even their parents turning on their children, so that they can find favor with Esau to spare them, maybe for an actual week or more, or throw them in a dungeon, but not kill them. And then our people, not understanding who they are, or don't care who they are, and as you saw in that video and clip, what did that Edomite man say? He is for his own people. But see, our people are not like that. See, our people are not for their own people. They'll talk, well, what can you do in the community? Well, look at what we're doing. We're putting our lives on the line every single day. And when we talk about lives, we're not talking about just getting a bullet in the head or getting a head chopped off, whatever the case like that. We put our livelihood, everything, all our possession on the line when we make these lessons. We put our lives on the line when we go and we stand up out there. When we make every lesson that we make, Esau is going to use against us to destroy us with. And we know it. That is the love that we show to y'all. We don't need to come there and drop a bag of money out to you, or turkey or chicken. But see, this is why y'all are going to be continuously in that trap under Esau, when clearly, I'm showing you with these footage, does this look like people that want you around, Jay? Think about that. Let's go into Jeremiah 5. That's how verse 21 reads, "Hear now this, O foolish people, and without understanding, which have eyes and see not, which have ear and hear not." Look at it. It's so obvious. Look how you are treated everywhere you go. You think you're special? You're not special. You're special to the Lord, Yahweh Shemashah, but you're not special to these people out here. These people are angry. Suddenly, they're becoming poor, destitute, and starting to look like the people that they hate the most, us. They're angry, and we're going to see what that anger is going to turn into. Right now, we're dealing with the government. So the government have a particular way they need to act, because the whole world is watching. But when we start to get down to the nitty-gritty Edomites, we're going to get to that. Hold on. It says, "Fear ye not me, said the Lord Yahweh Shemashah. Will you not tremble at my presence, which have placed the sand for the bound of the sea, by perpetual decree that it cannot pass it? And though the waves thereof toss themselves, yet can they not prevail. Though they roar, yet can they not pass over it." So Esau has a finite time to rule. Well, next month, a couple of days, and before the July 250 year, what is known about the 250 year anniversary of an empire. So we could expect everything to go downhill after July 4. Continuing, it says, "But this people had a revolting and rebellious heart. They revolted and gone. Neither say they in their heart, let us now fear the Lord Yahweh Shemashah, our power, that giveth rain, both the former and the latter, in his season. He reserved us unto the appointed weeks of the harvest." We seen what Yahweh Shemashah has done in the past. He killed everybody on earth except 8 people. We read through all the scriptures, Old Testament, New Testament, the Apocrypha, where the Lord destroys entire civilization, entire nation, destroys. He's a man of war. So for his son to set up the heavenly kingdom, current kingdom must be destroyed, and it's going to be destroyed through violence. But there is a judgment upon the wicked children of Israel. Let's continue on in 2nd Ezra 16 and verse 17, because as you saw in the clips, as I'm putting it up, this is what's happening. Now, it might not be at the horror level that might get your attention, but by the time it gets there, it's too late, Jake. It says, "For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord." Jake, everywhere you go, in every part of this country that you go, do people roll the carpet out for you, welcome you, or do you experience racism? Yeah. That's what I thought. They should be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. But they should waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. And that's going to be, evictions. Because who's impacted most by socioeconomic, decline? We are. So a lot of Jake's going to be evicted. You're going to try to stay past your eviction day. You're going to be thrown out in the street. Okay. You're not going to be able to, you might buy a house, but then you can't pay the taxes. They're going to throw you out. And then you're just going to have the Edomites just going door to door, just grabbing you out of your house because they want to spoil and rob you. Okay. In fact, we're going to read about that. And this is Jeremiah 30, inside verse 4. Why is the male Jake going to be so scared? And I always like to read this scripture because I try to imagine what could be going on that can make a man like a woman. It said, and these are the words of the Lord Yahweh Shemashai spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah, northern and southern kingdom. For thus said the Lord Yahweh Shemashai, we heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. You ever dealt with a man that sounds scared? In a normal voice would be like, yeah, what's up? But then it'd be like, I can't even imitate it. But most likely the fear is going to be so great, you probably are going to have a droplets of poop in your underwear, and maybe you kind of pee. You can't even hold your bowel. Your balls shrivel up because of fear. Come on, y'all know what I'm talking about. This is gonna be fear, man. Fear. Okay. It says, ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands in his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. So imagine the hardest guy is like this. Imagine the soft dudes, the guys who are soft. Imagine how they're going to be. I mean, the natural scaredy cat. So if hardcore bros, big old dudes, they work out, they tough, they might be gangsters, whatever the case is, thugs, trembling. What could possibly be taking place? We're going to get to that. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even a time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. When you walk around right now, you drive around, you go in public, whatever the case like that, you look around people and, they go about their business and stuff like that, and they don't see the fact that we're surrounded by wolves, man. People that hate us, people prepping to kill you, and a lot of people are not on God. They're not walking with that mindset of any day now, our enemies can pop up on us. So they're going to be caught sleeping because they think it's a joke. It's not going to happen. We're all in unity, aren't we? Right? Let's go to 2nd Esdras and close up at 2nd Esdras down verse 16. Okay, this is 2nd Esdras 15, down verse 16, and we'll discuss this for a minute or two. It says, for there shall be sedition among men, evading one another. They shall not regard their kings, nor princes, nor the cause of their action shall stand in their power. Let's stop there for a second. Now, you saw in the video clip with these neo-Nazi, KKK, and just racist people, okay, mainly from the tribe of Edom, okay, or the Edomites, or the so-called white people. The reason why they haven't capped your ass yet, or beat you down, or burn your house down, or done anything, or run you off the road, or use their vehicles to smash you in the sidewalk right now, is because there is a government system. And if you dig deep into the videos, a lot of time they'll say they're looking for a way they can get at us, so-called blacks and Latinos, okay, the two main group that they're looking at, so-called blacks and Latinos. They want to get at us in such a way that they don't have to go up against their government police system. Meaning what? They know damn well if they walk into a so-called black community, start shooting like that, guess what? Cops are going to come out there to kill them. It can be black cops, white cops, it doesn't matter. But that is the barrier right now. It's stopping them from living out what they're really thinking. Is they know there is a law enforcement intact here in America that is not going to allow them to do as they please, because there has to be a system to be ruled over. There has to be order, which is laughable to say that about Great Babylon America. But in this verse, it says what? They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and of course they actually stand in their power. That means at some point in time, these people you see in this video here is going to say, screw it. They're going to kill your wife, your kids, you, and they're going to follow through with all of their devious thought, because now they don't care about consequences or the law enforcement. In fact, there's a lot of law enforcement as we see how many Jakes have fallen by the sword of the police in the state. Yeah, they're also part of these groups too. It says a man shall desire to go in the city and should not be able, for because of their pride the city should be troubled and the houses should be destroyed. A man should be afraid because you can't believe, wow, I had a job, okay, I could live without a job. Or a man that's like, pretty much you don't know when there's a stray bullet or a sniper around. This is what it's going to look like. Of course, we can go into all the scriptures that talk about the fact that the body count of dead people is going to be so great that they're going to just stop burying. There's not going to be an investigation. This place is going to implode on itself to a level to where breathing fresh air is going to become, how do I want to say, it's going to become so rare to breathe fresh air, because all you're going to smell is dead bodies everywhere. Feces, piss, puke, dead animals, dead people. Walking outside is going to be dangerous because of the contaminant, okay? Contaminants, diseases, pestilence. It says a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And while this is going to be everybody going with each other, you're going to have, obviously you're going to have the people in Chinatown, they're going to go at each other first, then they can start to branch out. Same thing with predominantly white neighborhoods, they're going to go at each other first, and then they're going to start branching out. Same with predominantly black, and you get the point. And then it's just going to be just like, hey, if I'm a poor white trash, I might go into a more well-off black neighborhood to go rob them. more likely they're not going to resist compared to going into a so-called middle class or poor black neighborhood really waiting for your ass. Vice versa, when you go for the rich white neighborhood, they probably gonna have their own security there, whatever the case like that. But nonetheless, you Hebrew Israelites out there, hear now this, oh foolish people. The clock is ticking when the bullets start flying and our people's bodies start piling up here in Great Babylon, America. This is no joke. Oh, well, in that cause I found close up by giving all great honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, Shalom.